Welcome to the Deep Dive. We plunge into some really intriguing material, hoping to cut through the noise and get you, well, truly well-informed.
Yeah.
And maybe a little surprised along the way.
Yeah.
Today we're looking at this fascinating dance between innovation, the resistance it almost always bumps up against, and how real breakthroughs actually come out of that friction.
And we've got a really interesting mix of sources for this one. We're pulling from Astrology of the Day and also this quite captivating sci-fi story called The Invisible Architecture. It's from a Storytime collection.
Oh, cool.
Both of these are from Tarot by High C. And you can find more of their work over at tarotbyhick.net.
Right. So our mission today really is to try and figure out how these powerful new ideas, how they can be channeled responsibly. Finding that balance between pushing the limits, but also building things properly on solid ground.
Exactly. And what we often see, and what these sources suggest, is that those delays, the obstacles that feel so frustrating, they're not always just roadblocks.
Sometimes they're opportunities.
Precisely. Crucial chances to refine things, to make the idea stronger.
Okay, so where do we start the astrology?
Let's start there. It sets the scene nicely. This is for August 8th, 2025, and the core theme really jumps out. Strong passions deserve a proper outlet as sparks fly between action and innovation.
Sparks fly. I like that.
Yeah, and it talks about breakthrough responsibly. The idea that real change happens when individual awakening serves collective evolution.
Okay, so not just change for change's sake.
Right. It flags this key paradox. Innovation without wisdom creates chaos. Wisdom without innovation creates stagnation. So we need both, freedom and commitment.
That makes sense. Breakthrough responsibly. So what are the astrological drivers behind this?
Well, there are two main influences creating this dynamic tension. First up is Mars trine Uranus.
Okay, Mars, that's our drive, action, energy. Yeah.
Yep, your get up and go. And Uranus is the planet of sudden insights, disruption, innovation, the unexpected.
The rebel.
Kinda, yeah.
Right.
The rebel with the cause. And trine means they're working together, flowing easily.
So good energy for breakthroughs.
Definitely. It encourages you to find creative, maybe even weird ways to tackle problems, those impossible situations. Mars trine Uranus suggests you might find a totally unexpected solution, like a hidden door appearing.
Ah, right.
The source mentions expecting unexpected developments, maybe in partnerships, where something that felt completely stuck just loosens up.
Revealing pathways that were there all along.
Exactly, but maybe invisible before. Those real aha moments.
Okay, that sounds exciting. But you said tension, so what's the other side?
The counterbalance, that comes from Mars, opposite Saturn retrograde.
Opposite, so clashing.
Direct confrontation, yeah. If Mars is drive, Saturn is structure, rules, limitations, discipline, sometimes delays.
And retrograde, doesn't that usually mean things slow down or get reviewed?
Often, yes. Especially areas related to structure, responsibility, long-term plans. So Mars wants to charge ahead. Saturn says, well, hold on a minute.
Okay, I can feel the tension now.
It's that feeling of being inspired but blocked. Or, feeling really sharp, ready to go, but then second-guessing everything.
Been there.
Right. There's this restlessness, this urge to break free from the old ways, take a risk. But Saturn insists, look, innovation needs to be backed up with a solid strategy.
So you can't just leap without looking.
Pretty much. It's a cosmic reality check. This aspect tells us to expect edits, revisions, or a test of our commitment.
Okay, so delays are part of the package.
Yes, and the frustration, maybe even resentment that comes with hitting those walls, the source says that's just us contending with the limitations of reality.
But not just annoying limitations. You said opportunities earlier.
Exactly the insight. These delays aren't just stop signs. They're prompts to refine our plans, make them better, stronger, ensure those big dreams actually have a foundation to stand on.
Wow. Okay, so this incredible dance, wanting revolution, needing structure. How does this story illustrate this?
Perfectly, I think. Let's dive into the invisible architecture. It really brings this astrological dynamic to life in, a sci-fi setting.
Lay it on us.
So we're in this city, Nexara. Think neon sprawl, a place where innovation was oxygen and rebellion was currency.
Sounds intense.
It is. And our main character is Asha Ryel. She's brilliant, a strategist, used to be an engineer, but now she's kind of rogue.
Rogue how?
Well, she's known for finding impossible patterns in impossible places. Her background is designing these complex containment fields, but she basically vanished into the city's underground after this big mutiny over moral breaches in the AI deployment protocol.
So she has principles. She pushes back.
Definitely. Not afraid to challenge the system.
Okay, so what's she doing now?
She's on this really critical mission with her partner, Kael. They're at this super secure data door in a place called Sector 17.
And the mission is?
Audacious. They're trying to create a fluid architecture for decentralized energy distribution, basically freeing hundreds of underground zones from the control of the ruling core.
Wow, okay. That's definitely pushing boundaries. Giving power back to the people, sort of.
Exactly. High-stakes innovation.
So do they run into problems? That's Saturn opposition.
Immediately. Kael gives the update. They're stalling us. Satcom's flagged our blueprint loop. Again.
Blocked at the gate.
Asha's exact words. Blocked at the gate. It perfectly mirrors that inspired but blocked feeling.
But does she just give up?
No way. Her insight kicks in straight away. She says, the delay was expected, so is the resistance. Innovation, real innovation, never entered cleanly through the front door. She knew this would happen.
Okay, so she has a strategy. The Saturn part.
Yes. She doesn't just wait. She acts strategically. Uploads a decoy plan, activates a worm script. It's risky stuff. The story points out it's not strictly illegal, but definitely dangerous, needing unorthodox alliances.
So operating in the gray areas.
And Kael gets nervous. He voices that doubt, that second guessing. You sure about this? You were always the logical one.
The internal conflict. It makes you think, doesn't it? About your own big ideas, where you feel that pushback, that maybe self-doubt.
Totally. And Asha's response, it's fantastic. It shows her transformation.
What does she say?
She says, that's the old version of me. This one makes inspired decisions and second guesses them after.
Wow. She owns the tension.
She absolutely does. She acknowledges being inspired but blocked, but she uses it. It's her way of saying, yeah, innovation needs inspiration and strategy, even when it feels contradictory.
Okay, so she pushes through the doubt. Does the breakthrough come? The Mars-Uranus spark?
It does. Right after this exchange, she's scanning the energy map, looking for a way through, and suddenly, this dormant conduit flares up on the screen.
Dormant, like inactive.
Exactly, described as a forgotten relic of Nexara's original infrastructure. Something old, overlooked.
In the kill.
He's stunned. We've mapped this 12 times. That line was dead. He'd seen the data, but never saw the potential.
And Asha did.
Yes. And her explanation is the real aha moment of the story, I think. She says, or hidden. Reality doesn't like to be rewritten, but sometimes it lets you edit.
Whoa. Sometimes it lets you edit. That hits hard.
Doesn't it? It perfectly captures that Mars trine Uranus promised the invisible pathway revealed. It wasn't dead, just hidden, waiting for the right kind of insight, maybe an unconventional approach.
Looking at the problem differently because the direct route was blocked.
Precisely. The block forced the innovative solution.
So did they use it? Did it work?
They did. They rerouted their sequence, linked up this forgotten node, and the story says the system groaned, resisted, then stabilized.
So not easy. It still pushed back.
Right. It wasn't magic. It was effort, ingenuity pushing against limitation, and finally finding stability. A strategic rerouting, not just a sudden explosion.
And what's Asha's takeaway from this?
Her final thought really sums it all up, bringing us back to those astrological themes. She reflects, this wasn't the revolution. Not yet. But it was a breach, proof that the old rules weren't absolute, that ingenuity could dance even within the cage of reality if you had the patience to work through the edits.
Patience to work through the edits. That feels like the core message.
I think so.
Yeah.
It highlights everything we've discussed. True innovation needs that patience, that willingness to refine, to adapt when you hit resistance. It's not just about the big idea, it's about navigating the reality of implementing it.
So wrapping this deep dive up, what's the main thing for us to hold on to?
I think it's that innovation often thrives in that tension zone. It's not about avoiding resistance, but learning from it.
Those delays, those obstacles, they're actually key.
Absolutely essential. Often they force you to refine, to strengthen, to make sure your brilliant idea actually has, legs, a solid foundation.
It needs that Saturn check to make the Uranus insight sustainable.
You got it. And Asha's story is such a powerful reminder about patience and those edits. That line. Reality doesn't like to be rewritten, but sometimes it lets you edit.
Yeah, that's sticking with me.
It applies way beyond sci-fi energy grids, right?
Yeah.
Persistence, adapting your plans, making those tough revisions. That's how you turn resistance into something solid, something that lasts.
So the final thought for everyone listening.
Yeah.
Maybe think about the old rules. In your own world, your work, your life. Are they truly absolute? Or are they maybe just waiting for your ingenuity, your patience, waiting for you to make an edit?
And perhaps look again at things you've written off as dead or blocked. Could there be a hidden pathway there? Something waiting for a fresh perspective to bring it back online?